Hello learners, welcome to eSiksha Bytes. Today we are here with a very new experiment. I'm here live with my electrical engineering students of REC Bangla, and today we are going to discuss about presentation skills, and I'll just brief what actually the presentation skills are, and after that Shekhar Mishra of electrical second year will give you a demo how a presentation, a person should give a presentation. So in brief, if I talk about a presentation, presentation is the practice of showing and explaining the content of a topic to audience or a learner. I can say it's a kind of a public speaking. To make your presentation more effective, there are certain things that you need to keep in mind. The first thing is that your presentation needs to be more effective by if you have any in-depth knowledge of a content, when you're very sure of your content and you arrange your content in a very logical way. If I say in a logical way, it means it should have a proper introduction, then a proper description, or it must say a proper main body, and main body should be logically arranged. Either it could be your in a chronological order, problem solving order, cause and effect order, and in the last you need to have a conclusion. After that, there are certain non-verbal cues like kinesics, proxemics, paralinguistics. These cues are very important when we talk about a presentation. Kinesics is your body language, where you talk about your gesture, posture, your facial expressions, and all that. So it's always like we always say that always wear a smile on your face. It costs nothing. So whenever you are standing in front of anyone, always ensure that you have a smiling face. Then proxemics is the distance between a speaker and the audience. So that comes when you are physically present in the class. Now today we are virtually connected. So when you talk about a virtual presentation, the most important thing that you need to take care of is your paralinguistic. That is where you have to take pauses, where how you have to articulate the particular word with the right pronunciation, and there should be a proper modulation so that your audience they actually understand your ideas very clearly. So with this I feel Shekhar, you are ready with your presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Over to you, Shekhar. I expect you are going to give what we have studied in the class, a demo in the form of a presentation, so that viewers and the learners they actually understand how you have to give a presentation. Over to you, Shekhar.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you, ma'am, for giving me such an opportunity. Now I'm going to present my screen, and today my topic is speech and personality. Okay, let's begin. My screen is visible to you guys?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes. So my topic is speech and personality. Let's go with it. First of all, I have started with an anecdote. Uh, Robert Frost has said line, half the world is composed of people who have something to say and can't, and the other half who have nothing to say and keep on saying it. So I'm taking here an anecdote. Though he lived in one-room house with a mud floor, his ambition defied his poverty. Despite his humble condition, he was very particular about his dress and always appeared well-groomed. He used to whiten his canvas suits, which his uncle had gifted him with discarded pieces of chalk he bought from school. He made sure his uniform was always crisp. And now I guess all of you have got who is this person, is Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi. Okay, so why here I have taken this example? I have taken this example because here's a live example of how a speech can lift a person from a downtrodden person in a society to the Prime Minister of India. It's not only a quality of his speech and personality, But yes, speech and personality has played a major role in his upliftment. What people like most about him is his quality of speaking and his personality. Okay, so what can be a factor for good speech? How to make a good speech? For this, we have to identify the occasion, identify our audience, and identify our purpose. Like for which occasion we are going to speak, what are the facilities there, what is time, what is context, why we are going to speak there. We have to identify all these things. The occasion dictates not only the content of a speech, but also duration, time, and expectation of the audience. Suppose you are going to made a speech for Independence Day, then you have to prepare it accordingly. You are going to give a speech on an event organized in Diwali, so you have to include anecdotes like that. You have to include matter which is suitable for that particular event and audience. Why audience matter? Audience does matter because whether or not you are familiar with the audience previously, they are of your age group, your friends, or your teachers. You have to make a speech so that they can understand, they can relate with your words. And identifying the purpose. What is your purpose? Your purpose is to analyze or to tell them something, or to persuade them something, to connect with them and to influence them. When you are clear with your purpose, you will do it, you will make it. Now, you have identified the occasion, you have identified the audience, you are familiar with your own purpose. Then comes the outlining and structuring of your speech. What are the contents of the speech does matters like introduction, main body, and conclusion. In introduction, first of all, you have to greet. Then you have to start with an anecdote or a story. Uh, from anecdote and story, I mean something that is more appealing to the public, to the audience. Like if we will start from an anecdote or we start from a story or from a statement, that will make them interested, as well as they will be curious to know what you are going to speak. Your anecdote or introduction line will be that line they will be interested to know about. Then comes main body. In main body, you have to take care of chronology and category. In a you have to mention everything in a chronological order, and have to categorically divide. Keep the first part, it contains the main theme. In second part, we have mentioned the causes and effect of the topic. In the third part, you have mentioned problems and solutions for that cause and effect. All these things. Like if you are speaking on some topic related to technical issues, then you have to take care that every person understand each word of your speech. Like some people will not understand technical words if they are not from that background. Then you have to define those technical words, so you have to include definitions in your speech. uh, you have to present the statistics to prove you what you have spoke. And next to it, when you're coming to conclusion, you have to make it in such a way that everyone stands and concludes and relates to a speech whatever have said previously. Means the conclusion is that part of the speech where mm, everything is concentrated. Means as you are concluding, but the person seeing you can to relate with and conclude your speech and understand the crisp of that speech. Now, this is one of the most important slide in this presentation, as I'm going to tell you here what is the mode of speech delivery. What should be mode of speech delivery? Like you have seen people very nervous and frustrated during their speech, or you have seen people very smart and they have presented very well. So in what order, this depends on in what order they have prepared their speech. So here we have four kind of speech modes of speech delivery. First one is impromptu. In impromptu, as the word suggests, it's an improper way. Like you are attending any function and organizers had said it to present your views on that day. Like you are participating in Diwali function and organizers has said to say something about Diwali and something about function. So you are not prepared for that speech, but still you go there and presented your views. So this is a kind of impromptu speech. You were not prepared, but still you have made it speech. In such a speech, there are many kind of better things like you have got a chance to present yourself in front of people and to present your views. And there are some disadvantages too. Like if you are not a good speaker, this can be turned out to be a big failure. Now coming to in manuscript you have written everything. Like whatever I am speaking in this presentation, if I have written it in a paper and speaking it, then that can be considered as a manuscript. Manuscript is not considered as a good mode because you have written everything and you are speaking. Sometimes it becomes monotonous because you don't feel, you just go on. But it has some advantage, like you can keep it as a record, an office recorder. So overall, manuscript is not a preferred way of delivering in speech. Now comes to memorization. Memorizations mean you have memorized the content of your speech and you have gone on a stage, you are speaking by continuously memorizing things in your head. Now, what is disadvantage of doing this? Disadvantage is if you are not good at rote learning, then you will forget. And once you will forget, you will blank there on dais. And at that time, nervousness strikes you and you will stop. Finally, you have to come back. And that's not a good phase at some public interaction. So memorization is also not a preferred way of speaking in a public. However, people do. Now comes extemporaneous. Now this is the best way of delivering a speech. Why? This is the best way because uh, you have prepared everything in advance. You have rehearsed your topic well. Outline of your speech or presentation is in your mind, and you will present on the basis of your understanding very naturally. So people will relate to you, they can correlate with you, they can understand your feeling, in fact they will feel, and you will seem very natural. That's why extemporaneous is the way which is most preferred, and apart from preferring, you can say people likes it most. So extemporaneous is the way of speech you can always prefer and can be prepared for this. Now, uh, in last slides, we have decided what could be the most preferred way of speaking, how to prepare the speech and its outline, how to specify the content of his speech according to the situation. These were the last three slides. Now coming to, if once you have decided uh, what to speak, you have decided how to speak, then now here is the points. What should be the things you have to take care of to make a good speech? So these are the vocal cues. Vocal cues can be the quality, volume, pace, pitch, articulation, pronunciation, voice modulation, and pauses. Now what I mean from quality. Quality is a characteristic that distinguishes one's voice from other. Like my voice is different, your voice is different, and someone making very good speech has a very good quality of voice. Well, quality can't be changed. Like I have gained it naturally, and you have gained it naturally. We can't change the quality of our voice, but we can train it. We can train it in such a way that we can become a very good speaker. And live examples of that are President of America, Abraham Lincoln, Sir Winston Churchill. They were not a good speaker by birth, like our Prime Minister Narendra Modi or Atal Bihari Vajpayee. They are not a good speaker by birth, but they have trained their voice, they have trained the quality of their voice, and become a very good speaker and renowned speaker. So, things suggested for improving the quality of voice is training. Now comes volume. Volume is one such thing which tell the public your sincerity, your behavior, and how you are. So and how to regulate volume. Like if you are in a very happy state, in very joyous state, automatically your volume will be very high. But if you are attending someone who is very sad, then you need to reduce your volume to keep it lower. And now pace. Generally, people have a 82 to speak 82 to 50 words per minute, and a good speaker speaks 120 to 150 minutes per minute. So you have to train yourself, like the quality and volume. You have to train yourself to keep pace with the audience. Like don't speak so slow that it become monotonous for the people listening and they're feeling sleepy, and don't speak too fast that people can't relate with you, they can't get what you are speaking. So speak uh, very with fluency and with clarity and in a flow, and this can be achieved only if you are speaking naturally, first thing, and second thing, you are speaking approximately 120 to 150 word per minute. Now comes the pitch. What is pitch? So, pitch refers to the number of vibration of our voice per second. Rise and fall of the voice conveys emotions. Like if I am speaking very loudly, then sometimes it can be good if I am presenting such a topic which requires that. And if I am speaking very loud at a place where it need to be lower sound, then that's not good. So pitch represents your emotion. Highness of pitch says that you are excited, you are joyous. Lowness said you are shocked, you are sad. Now comes articulation. What is articulation? Is For articulation, it's how you speak a word. You have to speak each word very properly. Like I'm taking example here. You said, I don't want, I do not know, I don't want to know. And same thing you are saying, I do know. So I don't know and I do know. There's a difference. Uh, you are slurring, you are omitting some letters from the word, and that disturbs the articulation. Like you are saying, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. So these are the things you have to take care of. You have to speak very clearly and don't have to omit any letter from the word. And if you are doing so, that's you can say you are following. Your words have articulation. Now comes pronunciation. Pronunciation of each word should be good. And what to do to improve your pronunciation? You have to listen. You have to listen right words with right pronunciation. For that, you can prefer news TV channels where they speak in English. That can improve your pronunciation. Now comes voice modulation. Voice modulation generally includes the word stress, like how you are speaking a word. Modulation pertains to the way we regulate or vary or adjust tone, pitch, and volume. Means here you have to consider the points from first, like quality, volume, pace, pitch. Everything is included here. Um, Here we see how we are modulating our voice, how we are modulating the volume, how we are modulating the pace and pitch. Now comes the pauses. Pauses are important. Why it's important? Because it gives you chance to think what you were speaking and what you have to speak. It gives your audience a chance to understand what you were speaking, and that is how they relate with you. So that's why pauses are important. Now coming to the next slide, 3 points: confidence, clarity, and fluency. These are the most important whenever you are speaking. Why? Maybe the quality of your voice is not good. Maybe you are not modulating your voice well. But here, confidence, clarity, and fluency. These are important. Confidence is one such thing. You are not speaking good. You have not a good voice. But if you are confident, all will be covered, and you will become a good speaker. Now, clarity. Uh, Clarity means ki if you are speaking in a right way, your pace is right, you are speaking 120 to 150 words, you are speaking naturally, then everyone will understand you. There will be no chance of misunderstanding. And a good speaker have this quality. He speak in such a way that he is understandable. Now, fluency. How to know you are fluent or not? Like if I am speaking here and I'm using words like uh, or I take a long pause, or I'm saying every time I know, you know, I mean, you know what. These kind of words show that we are not fluent. We are using these words to think what we have to speak. So don't use such kind of words like you know what, no, I mean, etc. Or how to check you are not fluent? Like if I'm speaking here and some of you have asked question to me and I felt irritated कि that person is interrupting in my presentation. Then it means you are not fluent. You are not ready to take questions. So here are the three main points: confidence, clarity, and fluency. If you will maintain these three things, your speech will be best. Now coming to the speech and personality, my topic is, so coming to the personality. What is personality? Uh, Personality is a trait that can be acquired either biologically or from your environment. And what's a brand image? Brand image is like if someone is you can take someone as a brand. Anyone can be a brand. That depends on his quality and his personality. Like if you will see Shashi Tharoor can be a brand image for speaking English in India. Matlab, this is a remarkable thing you have also noticed. So personality and brand image, these two have great effect on your speech. What are the aspects of personality? Aspects of personality are character, behavior, and attitude. Your character, your behavior, and your attitude defines what is your personality. Like if you are behaving very humbly, in a very polite manner, if you are taking everything positive, then that is a positive sign of your personality and people consider it good. Your attitude can be negative or neutral for something, and that's really not good. Now, important question is how to develop personality. So, personality development is improvement of all these things. It's development of behavior like your humbleness, your politeness, or situational reaction to the problem or situation. That's your behavior. Communication, how you are able to communicate with others or not. Interpersonal relationships, like if you are able to maintain good relationships with your colleague or the partner or anyone else interacting with you, that will be considered as good for your personality, and also it will make good effect on the person opposite to you. And your attitude, like you have a positive attitude or negative attitude, you are excited for something or you are full with negativity. These things determines how is your personality. And if you have a humble behavior, polite behavior, if you are good at communication, if you are good at maintaining relationships with your colleague in a professional life, or you are joyous, excited, then all these things make a good personality, and you will be considered as you have a very good personality for and it can be helpful for you in a professional life or anything you are doing. Now, how to develop personality? So you can improve your communication skill. You can improve this by participating in events, in participating in things you come across. A good listener is always have a good personality. He has a patience. The most important thing for listening is patience. If you are listening me right now, then and continuously, then you are a good listener and you have a patience. Converser is like how to exchange, you know, feelings. Like you are able to understand me and I'm able to understand you. This is a thing which is considered good for one's personality and one's overall development. Be open. Be open for what? For communicating with others, for participating in event, for listening others patience fully, for getting one's feeling, and also presenting your feeling to speak up. Be optimistic. Be supportive to your colleagues, to your friends, to everyone you meet within your real life, and be honest. Honesty is the one thing which it develops your communication skills too. You can participate everywhere. Like you will be free to do whatever you are doing. If you will be honest, you will be open for learning. Now, what is importance of speech in personality development? What is importance of speech in personality development? You will gain positive perceptions from others. Others' view about you will always be good if you are honest, if you are able to present yourself. It gives you chance to present your thoughts and your ideas into words. Like uh, if I was not able to present these things, I was not able to tell you all these. And if we fulfill all these criteria, we will develop a positive attitude towards things. Now, this is the important thing. Many people get nervous and they have a kind of stage fright. Why they have to? And how to reduce these things? So we can reduce nervousness by rehearsing our material and concentrating the its outline, its frame in our mind. Like I had prepared a speech and I'm going to deliver it. Then in my mind, there should be the an outline of my speech. Like first of all, I have to give introduction. Then I have to start with some statement. Then I'll come to main body, and there I will mention things in different categories in chronological order. I will try to connect with the people. I will decide whether to explain my content or to influence you or to connect with you. So these are the things, and at last conclusion. So these things needs to be fixed or to be concentrated in our mind. Next thing, never begin immediately on stage. First of all, go greet everyone. Try to maintain eye to eye contact with some people's there. Like I'm on dais, on my college dais, and going to deliver a speech. First of all, I have to greet everyone there. I'm saying, Honorable Director, sir. So I have to maintain eyesight contact. I have to look on his face. It's not like I'm seeing on paper or I'm seeing on the sky and I'm saying Honorable Director, sir. And he is sitting in front of me. If I'm saying Honorable Director, sir, then automatically my eyes should be there at my face is in line of his face. I'm saying on the respected faculties. Then at that time, my eyes should be moved to faculties. Hold the dais or table. If you are feeling very nervous, then hold the dais, lean on it, and then speak. If your legs are shaking or anything like that, then hold the dais or table. This is the one best way. Now, uh, the kind of nervousness you feel, audience didn't feel that. They can feel only when you are feeling very nervous and it's coming to your face, then only they can feel. Otherwise, no one feels your nervousness. So start presenting in whatever way you can do. At last, I have here some tips how to memorize the content and how to present the content. Like never memorize the content. Always fix an outline in your mind if required, like if you're forgetting which topic I have to speak in starting and in what I have to speak in mid, then make cue cards and write the main points there you have to speak. And in this way, once you will see the cue card, you will remember what you have to speak and will come to that line. Follow rule of three. What's the rule of three? Rule of three is ki prepare everything in 3 points. For if you have to tell something, prepare that in 3 points. Like I have done here, and also mentioned a image 3 point versus more point. If you have 3 point, it will be easy to remember and it will be easy to recall. So try to do it. Always brief at the start and conclude at the end. Like if you are going to start in a speech or start your presentation, first of all brief that what you are going to present. This will generate kind of curiosity in audience, and at the end conclude the things whatever I have mm, uh, delivered in introduction in main body. Conclude include all those things in your conclusion. At last, take questions and feedback. What people have understood or what they didn't understood, they can ask you, and if you will answer them positively, this will make a remark that you are a good speaker and have a good personality. Here are the references from where I have taken points. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Shekhar. It was really a very fantastic presentation, and you have incorporated maximum of the points that a presenter should include. That you have started with an anecdote, a kind of a small story, or you can share your personal experience. Then your content is logically arranged. Apart from the content, I would like to tell you one more thing, that you have to keep the minimum of your content on your slides, so that you have a time for speaking. Like you're not reading a slides. When you read a slide, it gives a very bad image. So you have to put a minimum of your content in the slides, like Shekhar has done, and accordingly you have to select the mode of your presentation. Like it depends on the occasion. If you are in a party, then it will be an impromptu. When you are giving a business presentation and ample of time is given to you, so likewise a time for preparation is given to you. So it depends on the occasion, and accordingly you can offer any of the nuances of delivery. And the most important thing is your vocal cues, that Shekhar has very beautifully explained, that you need to take care of pauses. You don't have to rush, that you have to complete the entire content. So take proper pauses, work on the quality of your voice, articulate each and every word properly with the correct pronunciation that is universally accepted, and you need to modulate your voice, because when you modulate your voice, it helps in understanding your ideas to the audience. And finally, if you are nervous, if you're presenting for the first time, you have to control your nervousness, and that some certain tips has been explained by Shekhar Mishra, and you have to take care of those three points. That is your confidence. You have to be confident person. You have to bring clarity, then you have to very fluent. So I think this is a full package that Shekhar has given to us about the presentation skills. And if any of my students, they want to ask any question from Shekhar, I think you have one question in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, answer the question.
What type of difficulties an introvert person will face while giving a speech among audience? See, Ankit, if you are an introvert, that's not bad. An introvert person is a very good, can be a very good writer. An introvert person, and if one is a good writer, one can present it very well. See, what you need to while presenting is, you should be confident and be natural. If you are speaking naturally, then there is no point that you will make a mistake. Since a person is speaking naturally and from his heart, he will speak the points, the real points he have. He will be connected from the point. So the thing is, develop interest in topic. Whether you are introvert or extrovert, develop interest in topic you are going to speak, and naturally you will speak good and you will be confident.
Okay.
I think you've got your answer.
Yeah, got it.
And so I think we are really, I would like to congratulate Shekhar for giving a very nice presentation. And I hope you all like the session. Please do join and subscribe the eShiksha Bytes channel for more